Hello, Melanin Monarchy citizens. This is your Monarch here, and welcome to Cinema Under the Crown. We are here at my favorite, very favorite theater, the Angelica Theater here in Carmel Mountain, and we're here to do Matinee with Your Monarch. That's right, we're doing Matinee with Your Monarch. Now, what Cinema Under the Crown is that it's Melanin Monarchy's way of reviewing film, documentaries, streaming series, all with a royal lens. So that's what we're doing. We're reviewing all those things with a royal lens. But the Matinee with Your Monarch is when I have boots on the ground and I am actually at a theater, you guys, to see a film. And today we're going to see, my gosh, the Peaky Blinders. That's right, the Immortal man. We're here to see this film. Now, what's interesting is that I thought that they were just going to stream it on Netflix. I didn't know that they were actually going to put it in theaters. Just found this out last week. So I giddied on up, decided to come here to the theater this Saturday, March 7th, this Saturday, to see our beloved Thomas Shelby and see what he does. Of course, this is starring Cillian Murphy. This is all a world that was created by Mr. Stephen Knight. I'm pretty sure it's Stephen Knight. Is that his name? That actually created the Peaky Blinders. He's a British screenwriter. He created this. You guys, we fell in love with the Peaky Blinders a few years ago, and actually I came late to the whole saga. I came a little bit after COVID, probably during the time that the season was coming to its end, but it started in 2013. It ended in 2022, of course, after the passing of Miss Helen McCrory. She played the beloved Polly, Aunt Paul, and she did an amazing job, and then that kind of precipitated the end. I kind of think Cillian Murphy probably wanted to end the series. It was coming to its end, but we're here to see the film version. They're still working it out. They're still working this story out. So we're going to do this whole Peaky Blinders saga. We're going to continue with the saga, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to let you know my thoughts on this. And I also want to remind everybody that the Peaky Blinders, of course, the backstory is that they come from this Birmingham gangster type family. But let us also remember that Thomas Shelby is the result of war. Yes, he does come from a family of gypsies, a family that's nefarious for doing nefarious things, a whole bunch of shenanigans, but he is really the creation of World War I. And just kind of like Michael Corleone too, we have to remember that that character also was in the military. He was in the war, and so let's keep that in mind when we're thinking about Thomas Shelby and what really made him. And I always say, you know, war makes one of two types of people. It'll either make a minister or it'll make a monster. So you guys be the judge of which one Thomas Shelby falls under. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to grab, you know, come with me. Grab your favorite contraband. My favorite contraband is always going to be tea. Hot tea is what I go into my theater with. And today, instead of my normal black and white shawl, I have my Depeche Mode blanket here. I have my Depeche Mode blanket. But we're going to go in. We're going to see this, and here it is. This is Matinee with Your Monarch, the version of Cinema Under the Crown. I will see you inside. To the pit. The Immortal Man, this part of the Peaky Blinders series, it is bleak. It definitely is bleak. And it's funny is that there's a little advert that Cillian Murphy did before the film and saying, don't do spoilers. Kind of think that when you say don't do spoilers, that means do the dang on spoilers. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have spoilers in here, but they may slip out. And so you've been warned. You've been warned. I think we're just naturally rebellious, right? And that's the point of the Peaky Blinders, right? Is to be rebellious. Don't go along the flow. But as I said in my intro, the thing we must keep in mind is that Thomas Shelby was created more so definitely because of his background, especially his gypsy background, what they played into a lot in this particular film. So it definitely is the same, kind of what your monarch would call witchcrafty kind of thing, doing with the gypsy scenario. But that's all throughout the series of the Peaky Blinders from 2013 until the show ended in 2022. So you're going to get more of that. But remember that he was created by a war. And so they play again into what war creates, what kind of men war creates. Now, I think what was very attractive about the Peaky Blinders when it came on the scene, kudos to Stephen Knight, who this is his concept. He wrote the Peaky Blinders, and he's the writer on this particular screenplay, is that they're just sexy men. They are masculine men. Here we are, even in today's age, it just shows that masculine men, whether you want to call it toxic or whether you want to call it, good masculinity, whatever you want to call it, is still very attractive, and it is highly desirable and highly valuable in our society is to have good masculine men who have the deep voices, who's going to stand on business, who's not going to back down. These men are still very valuable. So that's the attraction of the Peaky Blinders, and why a lot of people loved that particular series. Now, in this movie, you get a older Thomas Shelby. You're going to get a Thomas Shelby that has ghost. And throughout the show, that issue, he had it. He's also addicted. I don't know if it's heroin or whatever he's addicted to, but remember that Thomas Shelby, not only does he have demons, he also has problems, which was the same thing with his brother Arthur. And so here you have sort of passing the baton with the Peaky Blinders, but it's mostly just Thomas Shelby doing what he should have done years ago. Really, if you really think about this particular character, Thomas Shelby should have done this kind of thing years ago. And again, it's bleak. It's not a very happy story. I do want to give also a shout out to Barry Keoghan. I believe that's how you pronounce it in the Irish way. He's just phenomenal in this film. You will see other people from the series here, but he's brand new to the series. He plays Thomas Shelby's oldest son, and he's just a marvelous actor. I enjoy his work. I've enjoyed his work when he played in The Banshees of Inisherin. You guys, I need to pronounce my Gaelic a whole lot better. And that started Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. If you haven't seen that particular movie, definitely right here, I have the actual pronunciation or the actual movie title right here. Go and see that particular film, and it's also a really great film. And in this one, Tim Roth basically played the devil, as only Tim Roth knows how to do. So he did a marvelous job, but again, it's Tim Roth, so what do you expect? But for the immortal man, the Peaky Blinders, none of us are immortal earthly in a sense. And so it was a very good. Also, Nick Cave did a slower version to the title Red Right Hand. I am a huge Nick Cave fan, so they did play a little bit of that, and he did a more melodic, slower version of that. I think that whoever put this film together as far as the soundtrack absolutely loves Massive Attack. So it's replete with a lot of, the soundtrack is very, very heavy, and it seems like there's a lot of Massive Attack, which I love. I love Massive Attack as a band, as a group. I love them as well. And so just like the series has great soundtrack, so this film also has great soundtrack. Can you wait until it comes on Netflix? Sure, like anything else, you can wait until it's streaming, but I definitely think that it's worth going to the theater. I think it's worth your coin, especially for this matinee with your monarch. It was definitely worth it. I enjoyed it. I haven't figured out, you guys, how to score films. I have a score for live events. But as far as films, I haven't figured that out yet. So if you guys have any ideas, definitely let me know. I'm trying to think, was there anything specific about the film? Rebecca Ferguson is also in this film. I like Rebecca Ferguson's work. I think she has pretty good work. Her character in this film, I wasn't sure it was necessary. It's kind of like they threw her in there because they needed a female seductress type of thing, and I could have done without it. Her character was not necessary. Now that also could be an editing issue. It seems like there was a lot of editing, some things that were thrown out, like Ada's two children. You only see like a glimpse of them, like both of her children. And remember, one of her children is half black, so they only showed them for like her oldest son. They show for a little bit more than a second. So I think a lot of things ended up on a cutting room floor with this particular film. They didn't want to make it too long, because when you're a writer, you're writing, like you do the series, even though the series have different episodes. But there was a lot of story to tell. So because of that, I don't know if this is the end of Peaky Blinders. I think that, knowing the greed of Hollywood, that they are going to try to squeeze something else out of this, with or without Mr. Thomas Shelby. And they've already introduced ghosts, so everybody except those who are actually really dead in real life, everybody can make a cameo, because Peaky Blinders is also about ghosts. All right, you guys, this is your Monarch here at Cinema Under the Crown at the Angelica Theater, my favorite, very, very favorite theater, here on a Saturday, going to see a movie. Thank you guys for coming along with me. This is our boots to the ground way that we review films, documentaries, and streaming shows. And I will see you at the next Cinema Under the Crown. To the pit.